Hello, welcome to Introduction to the Visual Arts. Today we're going to do an art project based on Rachel Rush's Roses, Poppies, and Other Flowers, or Still Life with Flowers. And there is a video about this somewhere else on Moodle that talks more about the painting. It was painted in 1704. It's in the Baroque style, and it's very fancy, it's very ornate, it's very overdone, it's very beautiful. And in this style of art, one of the things that you're always going to find is something dead. And you could say that the flowers themselves are dead and dying because they're cut flowers. And it refers to this idea of Momento, Mori. So I want you to keep that idea in mind when we create our work of art. So I'm just going to put this aside right now, and I'm going to get my piece of paper out from my multimedia pad, and I have it, the 11 or 9 by 12 sheet of paper, and you'll really want to do a border on this one. And this one is going to be a colored pencil drawing, so you're going to need colored pencils and maybe a pencil and a ruler for this one. Now, when people take an art class, I've always found out, or they always tell me that they want to learn to draw realistically. And so some of the things that we do in this class are geared toward a concept, an idea. Some are fun and playful. Some are more challenging, but I always like to have some of the lessons or some of the projects that really are about creating the illusion of depth on a flat surface. So for this project, we are going to create a machine that doesn't work. So that is our Momento Mori. It is going to be a machine that doesn't work. It doesn't have to work, but it has to be a lot of gears and cylinders and things that are tied together. And we're going to create the illusion of depth, we're going to use gradation again, where we shade from light to dark and try not to show any stop and start marks. So here is an example of one student's machine that doesn't work. And so here is another one that doesn't work. Here you've got cylinders that are broken and crushed and just broken and everything. So obviously it's in very, very sad shape. And here is another one that also doesn't work. It's not going anywhere. It's not hooked to anything. So it couldn't possibly work. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to point out. So this is what we're going to do. It looks daunting, but it's really not. It's really quite simple. And I'm going to show you the steps to create these cylinders and to create these shafts between the cylinders. And then you can go ahead and practice a little bit and practice a few times on a piece of scratch paper before you go ahead and try your good sheet of paper. All good art, as I've told you before, fills up the space. And that's why these examples are so good, because they do fill up the space. I talked in another video about when you do a border, it's best not to decorate your frame around the border, except sometimes there is an exception to the rule. Here you can see that they just went right over the border, and so that works pretty well here. Or maybe what they did is they drew the whole thing and they said, oops, I forgot to put a border, and then they drew the border later. But however they did it, it seems to work. The other thing that works so well in here is that it fills up the space really nicely. And it not only, it just goes off the picture plane, which is quite different than this one, which stays on the picture plane and doesn't go off. Here it looks like they just kind of probably went off a little bit. But the rule is, if you do it one place, you should do it in maybe 2 or 3 places. And that's what they did. So that works as well. So it's always good to, if you do it one place, do it someplace else. And so that's part of the reason this is very nice. All of the colored shafts and cylinders are the positives, and the white paper behind it is the negative. Okay, so here's a person that took the idea of the cylinders and then took these rolls of paper and unrolled them. So that's okay too. If you can throw in your own idea, that's absolutely just fine. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to draw some of these shafts for you. Okay, now this might be somewhat challenging. Hopefully I'm just